Hello, it's Mary Beth Shaw. I am here to show you my November daily creative practice. Except guess what? It's not finished yet. So I'm going to turn the camera and show you a few things I've been working on, show you a few techniques, and hopefully we'll have some fun as we do that. So follow along and come with me. All right. I had been teasing out on Instagram a while back about some drips and some new products I had. And this is them. These are the new products. This is Jane Davenport Layer Cake Paint. All right. This is the sushi roll set. And I bought these. She sells them out of her shop in Australia. It takes a while to get them. It took probably a good 6 weeks for them to reach me. And I made this little, it comes with this, and then you can, make your color chart with both of the colors in each one of these. These come out too. So like, let's say you get another set, but you want to mix them up and travel with them, you can do that. And anyway, what they are is they are a gouache product, which is a water-based paint. It's gouache is kind of like the cousin to watercolor. It is a more opaque version though. Like here's some watercolors I'm using. This is a golden set, and I love watercolor, but there's sometimes I like opacity with it. And if I'm traveling especially, I don't necessarily want to use liquid acrylic paints on my travels. So this is an ideal way to carry an opaque paint with you when you're traveling. And I did this background with the paints. I did this background with the paints. I did the backgrounds here. I did the foregrounds. I've done so much with them, and I really like them a lot. Now here is the downside, is they're not permanent, okay? So you need to keep that in mind, and if you go back in and want to put other layers, you should probably keep it dry or spritz it real quick with some sort of a fixative before you go on to the next layer. I don't really think that's going to be an issue with me. For me, they're going to be more of a travel paint and also more for my journal. So I want to show you this. After I got these, I was poking around on YouTube to try to find some people who had used the paints in different ways they had done it. And I should have written down this girl's name, but she found that the lids were hard to take on and off and on and off. And she did this thing where she just put a strip of packing tape across all the lids. And I thought that that was so genius. So I did the same thing and folded it under at each end. So now when I take the lids off, that's the lids. Those are the lids, and they just sit right there. It is nice to spritz them gently. Not a lot. This is that fine mist spritzer that I love, and that'll wet them enough to use them. And I don't know. I like them. Part of it is just, oh my God, Jane has made some divine colors for one thing, and that's pretty cool. So they also work great with stencils. So I am going to work on a page. Let's work on this one, and then I'll show you what I've already done, and hopefully you will enjoy watching and determine whether you think that these might be a good addition for you or not. I do think for me with my travel, they're going to be an awesome thing. I feel like I'm a little crooked on the page here, so I'm going to straighten up a little bit. Straighten up and fly right. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so this might be a little bit better. All right, the first thing I typically do, as you know, is put down some collage parts. And I have some things that I just randomly pulled out, some colors that I thought might go with some of the things I'm doing. Things I've done this month. Well, if you were paying any attention, we had our big sale, so I have been actually pretty busy with StencilGirl things, and I haven't had a lot of time to do my own journal play like I normally would, and that's okay. You know what? I have actually, it was so fun to go over there and to go through and to package stencils. Every time I do this, I see stencils that I forgot that we had. For instance, let me just show you this one. This is one by Jennifer Evans, and I found this over there across the parking lot at StencilGirl, and I made these sheets. Now look at this. Does this not look like something you would have gotten, that it's a real vintage product? All it is just a piece of paper with some tea stain on it, or coffee stain. I think I did coffee stain. I just put some instant coffee in a little, I do not have any precision, okay? I'm just gonna say, I never do it the same way twice. Here's what I did this time. I took a little tray, not very tall tray, and I put some water in it, and I sprinkled instant coffee in there. It was warm water, and then I just threw some papers in there, a whole bunch of them, and some of them were folded, some of them not, and let it sit in there for a bit, and then got them out. Once I got it out, I put the stencil down and did the black. I just used a golden black paint on top and acrylic, and oh my gosh, I can't believe how it looks like something way, way, way more important than it is. Yeah, I know, right? So I love it when that happens, that sort of thing, and I can't wait to use them. I knew I wanted to use them in my journal, and I don't know, I'm also kind of in love with all the paint on this journal, which makes it hard to go in and cover it all up. But you know me, and I will actually put more paint down after I've glued these parts down. So that is part of the deal. When I'm working with thin papers like this, I will go across the crack of the page, because it's not going to be that big of a problem. Well, listen to me, it's not going to be that big of a problem, and I can't even get it to fold. If it is an issue, I can always just tear it like this and then put it right back down. And it looks like it goes over the crack, but there's actually a cut in between there, and it'll probably hold up a lot better for the long term. Ooh, I found some cool little collage bits in my stash. Some of these I spritz when they feel a little thick. This one feels a little thick. And I like to make sure that the paper really adheres to this receiving surface. Now this surface, you recall when I made this book, that it's made out of manila folders. I took that class with Andrea Chebelot, and all of these have been gessoed. So when I used the Jane Davenport paints on top of this, they were all previously gessoed, and the effect is pretty cool. But I am here to tell you, I'm going to get a baby wipe and show you that you can just go right back down to the gesso if you want. Look at that. You can just go right back down to the white. Now, that can be a really fun thing. You got your paint down. You can put your stencil down and just get a baby wipe over top, and look at those marks that come up that are very reminiscent of these, because it's the same stencil, right? And I love that sort of thing. Again, over there, it's maybe not showing it to the extent. Yeah, I think you can see it a little bit, but that is the advantage of working on top of gesso with these paints that are going to move around more. It's actually kind of fun, right? I love it. So let's glue some more stuff down here. This is a cool page. I don't even know what I did here. It looks like I, of course, spilled something on top of a pattern page. Let's get some more collage underneath there first and see. I randomly grabbed a bunch of things that I thought might tend to coordinate with what I wanted to do on this page color-wise, and that is kind of what guided me in the creation here. Now, I am going to put this over top because I really like it very much. I think I'm going to put it this way, though. I do think the lines going across make more sense. Now, glue stick and tissue is sometimes a little squirrely to use. Sometimes I put it down on the receiving surface, and sometimes I do it like this. I am doing it like this mainly because it's such a big piece. And that's the risk right there that you saw, the tearing, but that's okay. We can get this to glue down and stay in place. All right, right there. Now, taking the damp baby wipe over top. It's not as damp as I would like, so I'm dampening it a little bit more because I do want it to get that surface, get the wet underneath and then the wet on top, which that'll make it adhere a little bit better to the surface. All right, so I know you're anxious to see these paints, so let's take a look. When you get the palette, it comes with brushes, which are actually pretty nice. I think the brush, it's a little stiff, not too stiff, and it's actually pretty cool because it works quite well with the consistency of these gouaches. Now, I don't even know what to tell you about these guys. They are, let's see if we can bring the camera in a little bit more, and maybe you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. That's good. All right, so I'm getting this peachy color, and I'm going down here, and I'm just putting some marks on the page. Now let's go up here where you can maybe see it a little bit better, the peachiness. You can see the opacity of this stuff. I mean, look at the opacity. That is so cool to be able to use a easy water-soluble paint that has opacity. And I don't know, I just think it's really cool personally. So colors are pretty slick too. I'm going to confess, I ordered some more yesterday because, well, I worked with these all weekend and I was like, oh my gosh, I am in love with these, right? So now remember what you can do. If you wanted to put something down on that, you could pull it back up here. See? You can get that little stencil impression right there. I do love that. In a way, these remind me a little bit of like gelatos and a creamy crayon. They're almost like a makeup consistency. They are just odd, and all I can say is they are oddly beautiful, okay? So, all right, so I'm gonna put this over here, line across the top. And you know what I'm gonna do because this is what I love to do. I'm gonna, oh, I didn't mean to mix that, but that's okay. It shall be fine. Let's just try that off. Okay. And I'm gonna drip down the page with it. And this is what I was doing on Instagram that was getting quite a bit of attention, just the simplicity of it. It was so, so pretty. I lost my brush. I was gonna put another little bit down on there. Oh, here it is. Okay. I thought I might get a little bit of this unusual. This is a really weird neutral kind of purpley color. But look how you can actually paint and fill in areas like I'm doing here. Or you can get it wetter and drip around. That's an art term, did you know, drip around? I don't know. I just think that they're pretty cool. They do blend up as they're going. You can see they're blending up. And they're creating some unusual neutrals between them. I don't know. I just think they're pretty slick, right? So they are a winner in my book. And I actually wrote to Jane Davenport, who I don't even know. I've never met her, but I had to tell her how much I love this product. And some of you probably already have it. I don't know. I'm always late to the game, you know. Always late to the product game. Okay, so let it drip and then pull it back on this side. Then this side is going to have to dry down a little bit. Now, I think I had already worked on the other side of this spread, so I'm going to flip it over and show you the other side. This one was all about the blues over here, and I have some great collage bits in here. And I think I shall go ahead and take some of this blue up here. I love this one. It's called Dark Rum is that color. And that weird color on top of it is called Sake, oddly enough. Yeah, so there you go. But look how pretty that is, right? So what I'm going to do then is sit this up just like this so that they can both dry. Both sides will dry at the same time. And I shall sit that over. Oh, 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 I got my little paw prints over here. Not what I wanted to do. I'm going to sit it over here so I cannot touch it. And then I'm going to grab this other one. Okay, so this one, I did the back side of it here, and again I used all these colors, and I happen to have some markers that matched up, which that worked out really well. And naturally I have collage papers and pretty much every color of the rainbow. So here is the spread, and I thought I might use some of this little vintage stuff. This, what looks like the dyeing on top of this is actually some of some Dina Wakley, some of her more liquid, things that come in the spray bottle. It's ancient bronze. Now look, okay, see when I went over here, I picked some up, and then I'm bringing it back over here. I like that personally. That may or may not be your thing, but this is the kind of product this is here. It's, you know, every time you hit it with water, you're basically reactivating it, and it's gonna move. So, you know, I love that sort of thing because it's wild and woolly, and you have no idea what's gonna happen, and I like the serendipitous effect that you get from that. So if it's not an effect you like, I would say maybe use some more permanent paint so you have more control. The one thing I wanted to show you, the other thing is I wanted to show you how it works with a stencil. So let's put this stencil right here, and I'm going to dampen the stencil with water, or not the stencil. I'm going to dampen the sponge with a little bit of water, and I'm going to pick up this dark color right here on my sponge. So see, it's there on my sponge. And I'm going to put some in here. I'm also going to do the edges of this because I just want kind of an edge treatment. And I'm not going to do the whole stencil. And then when you pick it up, look at that. I mean, goodness gracious, right? So nice, so nice. And then with your damp sponge, you can spread the color around. So a lot of great options with this as far as painting. When you go to YouTube and Google the layer cake paint, there's a guy on there, I can't think, Kimball, I think is his name with a K. He does some anime work with these, and he does his sketching in pencil and then goes back and paints in the color. And oh my God, his work was just divine. I really loved the results he was getting. All right, so we looked at the back of this. I'm gonna have to carry on with this, and let me show you my cover. November, so you come out to your gatefold. When I got the paints, they were wrapped in this great paper by Jane Davenport. So I cut it out and I put it all over here, pieces of it. And then over here, I painted with her paints something similar to just kind of echo that mood. And then when you open this spread, I went wild, as you can see, with my kind of grid-like approach. Some more collage bits. These are this is just marks with the paints, the layer cake paints, using a brush. These are using them with a stencil, where I painted the whole swath with the color, then put the stencil on top and used the baby wipe to pull up some of the paint again. So this is where I am, almost finished with November. I can't believe it's almost the end of another year. I'm so grateful for all of you watching me as I've worked on these, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this daily practice project, I'll have to say. I'm still thinking about whether I'm going to do it again, but maybe yes, I do love it. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you the next time.